Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. We're here with a Darci Spiteri of Crafty Owl.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming at our home set here today. And we're talking about your own personal business.
Yep.
You started a couple of years ago based on a kind of a love and I guess a passion from when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get started in this?
I first learned from my mom and my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be the way though, when it's something like knitting, right? You
Yeah.
started as a young little child and something simple and you grew
from there,
along the way.
The internet, YouTube, I learned a lot of new stitches that way, and I'm kind of teaching my mom now, which is
No
kind of
way.
funny. Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Well,
Yeah.
being a knitter herself, of course, you can introduce, again, in new styles, right? And there must be endless amounts of styles of knitting.
Oh yeah, there's like books this thick of
Really?
just different stitches you can
I can't even
do.
imagine. You only know, I can only identify by, seeing something that I like and like, oh, I love the way that that is, but I can't even imagine how you learn, but I
Yeah.
guess you just figure it out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's a great part. We were talking, earlier about, social media and how it's just so great to introduce, it makes the world small and introduce new ideas to you. And then again, it's like all knitters unite, right?
Yeah,
And you can
yeah.
all share ideas with one
Yeah,
another.
there's-
So from there, you kind of grew into a business. And let's talk a little bit about some of the items that you do.
Okay. So these ones are the new one that I'm working on. So this is actually crochet, and it's they call them granny squares.
I love that it's called a granny square. So cute.
And so this is going to be a blanket made up of a whole bunch of these ones. And what I like about knitting and crocheting, I guess, is what got me started is the color combinations. I love to choose the different yarns, the different colors. So you can just kind of take a base.
Just go crazy,
Yeah,
right? And just
exactly.
have fun. And you do custom orders on something like this as well, right?
Yep.
So someone can literally come to you and say, this is the exact color combinations that I want.
Yep.
And probably you can even sit down and pick the knits, right?
Yeah.
Or send pictures, I guess, online. But
Yep.
and create a blanket for somebody.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so fun. I guess they call them granny squares. Remember back in the day, they would sit around and have tea, and everyone would just
Yeah.
knit a square,
Yeah,
and they all
yeah.
make a blanket together.
Yeah.
It's like a big social.
Yeah, like collaboration.
Yeah,
piece
exactly.
would
Oh,
be
that's so
too.
cool. Now, of course, again, we were talking about how knitting just goes back before any of us can remember, and it's been, been done from nanas and mums alike over the years. But you're really staying on trend and trying to take knitting and keep moving it forward,
Yeah.
right? So this is very cool that you actually found something very trendy right now.
Yep.
Fluorescent yarn.
Yep.
This is a good find for you, huh?
Oh, when I found it, I ordered about 4 rolls of it,
Yeah.
so I could.
Yeah, this
have
is
some
cool.
more. Yeah.
And that's a good part about yarn too, is when you look at it, there's so many different styles, even within, some are really thick, some are
Yep.
fine, and then different fibers as well.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fiber to work with?
Alpaca. It's really soft. One of my mom's friends actually has an alpaca farm, so I've got to go down there.
Handy.
And she's got a mill, so she's actually making.
No way.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
that'll
that's a
be
good
fun.
connection, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I know. I'm amazed how the different fibers that you can actually find from shells and soy
really?
and there's all kinds
Yeah.
of weird different products that will make yarn,
Yep.
which is amazing to me because you would kind of, a lot of times association of cotton and wool, right? But there's
Yeah.
lots of different options right nowadays. So this is cool. So you can do custom orders on pretty much anything.
Yep.
And of course, this is kind of fun that you make.
So this one is actually, I've taken 2 yarns, so I couldn't find like a really thick fluorescent one, so I've mixed.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah, so it's 2 strands. So you can actually you can make your own. Like
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that idea because you've done that with this toque over
With
here
the hat,
too.
yeah.
That's really neat. I was wondering how you did that, if that was just one, but you've.
Nope.
as
It's
you've gone
actually,
along.
I knit with 2 strands, so
Two
I
strands.
hold it as if it's one.
Right.
But then you can take yarns that anyone could get and mix them together, so it's more of my own
That's a
kind of
great idea.
creation. Yeah.
So let's talk about, again, this is obviously something that you've been making for a while. This is kind of, everybody sort of has their first project when
Yeah.
we're getting kind of into,
Yep.
what was the first thing you made as a
I think
kid?
it was a scarf,
Yeah.
and it was horrible.
That's what I
coming
love,
out
right?
everywhere.
I think, well, that's the thing. I think people do start with scarves, right?
Yeah.
And then
Straight.
and then you just wrap around and no one will notice that it's a little scary, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a lot harder than people think, though, to get the proper shape.
Yeah. And
Right?
then if you miss a stitch, drop a stitch, it's like trying to figure out how to get back, and it's just like, okay, I'm just going to start again.
Have you done that? Just like,
Yeah.
see you later.
Yeah. Or like I'm pulling it out the yarn, it's
Oh,
like
I would
all
be so
tangled
frustrated.
up. That's the
Oh.
worst part.
So that's
yeah.
the appreciation, right? That's why when you go and actually purchase a sweater, you're paying for it. I mean,
Yeah.
and the wool itself is not cheap either,
No.
right?
Yeah.
It can be quite expensive. So these are great. So you've got lots of different combinations of these, which is fun and fantastic.
Yeah.
But let's talk about these little guys.
So these are boot toppers.
Yeah.
So you can, I know a lot of the look now is the chunky sock that you can fit in your boot, so you have just a top piece that looks like you're wearing a chunky sock, but you don't have it actually all the way in your boot.
Perfect for this time of year.
Yeah, you can wear, I did this one so you can reverse it depending on what colors you're
wearing.
Yeah,
that's right.
You wanted to wear.
You can do top.
Yep.
I love that. So yeah, a lot of people pulling out their little wellies, and then this is great for this time of year because again, it just sort of keeps a cozy warmth for spring. Yep. Because it's still, you know,
wet.
We could still have snow. Yeah. But it is possible. We don't like to talk about that. But and these guys, these are awesome.
Yeah. So these are actually one of my grandmother's friends. I've been kind of collaborating, I guess. She has done these socks, but so they've got leather bottoms, so you just kind of wear them in the house. Like I love wearing my chunky socks. Like I guess in the summertime you could wear them at the cottage or
good idea.
Around the house at the winter time.
We know some people just have like a little basket in their front door and they have all these kind of sitting in there when people come over because it does get, it's just nice to have something on your feet sometimes, and especially as you say in the summer. But they're so cute. I love the colors. Yeah, so she's just kind of working with her with more kind of trendy colors to work with and getting more of a younger keeping her on spot. You gotta use these colors. She's like, what? I don't know if I like that, but it's really cute. Oh, these are cute too.
Yeah, so that again is the 2 strands, and that one's just a headband. If you're, I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to mess my hair up with a hat, so this one just kind of fits over, keeps your ears warm. Oh,
that's really cute. Cute style. Now we should also talk about the other side of your business. You also do custom mugs.
Yep, so I guess summertime's coming. Not many people are going to be wearing
I might not be wearing this soon, but I like it.
Yeah, but I do custom mugs. So these ones I've done, so you can use it as a planter. And I also started with the mustaches. I think for Movember a couple years ago, I was selling those, but the mustaches seem to be really popular now.
People like that, eh? Yeah. People actually get tattoos of that. So. Like I think it's less commitment to maybe just do, as you say, on the hand, or just do the mug. But that's a great idea. Of course, at TERRA we sell tons of herbs here, so that's a perfect combination to do that. So, and also we always have to mention this too. This is your little makeup bag idea.
So I actually part of Crafty Owl, I started doing little makeup bags. This one was an accident. Actually, it turned out to be
that's what happens,
right? So it can hang over a towel rack. So I keep my makeup in it. I put my brushes in the front. And then if you're traveling, it packs flat in your suitcase. And
very good.
Good to go.
And what's your website?
It's craftyowl.ca.
Perfect. So people can get hold of you that way. And then basically just whichever they need, custom mugs, custom knitting, and you can coordinate, and you guys you do all kinds of knitting and figure something out for somebody. Yeah. And you're local. This is awesome. Very good.
I'm in Campbellville. So it's
Campbellville. You're very close.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Darcy.
Thank you.
Some good stuff. And again, still spring, still need to be a little bit cozy. We'll have more TERRA at home right after this.
Told you Mom was coming this weekend, right?
No, you left that part out. Her first visit this weekend? Look around, we're not ready for that.
Where are you going?
To TERRA, where do you think?
This is amazing. You're amazing.
Well, we had a little help.
TERRA, where color lives.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are here with Colleen Zimmerman of TERRA, and we are talking about the latest and greatest in perennials for 2013. And we were saying it just seems like yesterday we were talking about 2012, but here we are again, and you have some great new ones to talk about. And this is exciting for a lot of gardeners, right? They're like waiting on the edge of their seats for what's to come.
I'm one of them.
Yes, there you go, right? I love it. So let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing this year.
Okay. Everybody knows the purple coneflower, and it's been around for a very long time, but plant growers have been playing around with it, and now they have many different colors of the coneflower.
Isn't that amazing? It amazes me that this can happen, like you can hybrid flowers and just go crazy.
Yeah, so they've gone totally opposite.
To this extent.
Yeah, totally opposite from purple, and we have the Echinacea sombrero series. So you can just see, as the name suggests, they're hot colors, and you've got hot salsa, which is a bright red, nice compact plant with lots of blooms on it. And it's a bright red coneflower. It's beautiful.
And that's the thing, as you say, most people can identify with that flower, so it's nice to see that there are other colors. Not everybody wants to have purple, so
exactly.
It just gives people alternatives.
Yeah,
I love
it loves the sun and attracts your butterflies as well, so it's really good.
That's good. That's good. People like to know what they can bring into their garden other than just the flowers themselves, right? What is it going to attract in the species, good and bad?
Exactly.
Right? Okay, what's next?
Next we have heuchera, again ever popular, but we have a new series called the Crisp series, and they sound yummy and they look amazing.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. They're literally like you want to eat them,
yes.
but you can't and you shouldn't.
No, that's true. So there's peach crisp, apple crisp, pear crisp, and blackberry crisp.
Beautiful. And again, great colors. And again, really texture. This is adding nice texture to your garden.
Exactly. They've got great colors. So you've got like plums, and you've got the rusts and the greens and the limes. But the texture is what really sells me on this one. It's a nice compact plant, great for containers. And it's just really, really ruffled, crispy leaves. Like it's yummy when you look at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
now, quite resilient as well.
Yes. Yeah, I have mine in my garden. I've already tried them out, and even right now, over the winter, they still look pretty good. As long as they're not covered in snow, they still look pretty good.
I was going to say, yeah, once they get a little bit flattened out, but back to life pretty quickly.
Yes.
And again, I like the variety of colors, and you can combine the colors in your garden and create just
it's great.
Again, just from a leaf, it just really gives a nice.
Yeah, and they're great contrast, and they have that consistent color throughout the summer, so you don't have to count on the flowers in order to get the interest in the color in your garden.
Which is nice, right? Because as we know, like a flower comes and goes, and some last longer than others.
Exactly.
So this is at least you're getting something consistent.
Right.
Okay, next on the list.
Next is dianthus, an old-fashioned, lots of different varieties of dianthus, and they've gone back to the Sweet William varieties. And so the Picotee series is actually a bicolored flower. So the Picotee red and the Picotee purple have bicolors in them. So there's like two-tone red, and then there's one with that's pink and purple on the same flower.
Beautiful.
And they're just stunning. They are fragrant, and yeah, so it just adds that little extra into your garden too. Long blooming as well on those ones.
Which is great, right? So again, what are we looking at in terms of consistency and weather and temperatures?
They're actually pretty heat tolerant.
Okay.
They can go in containers or directly in your garden as well. Small plants, and they like the sun.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
because not a lot of flowers do. Right? No. Too much anyway. So
yeah.
Okay, very good. They're beautiful. I like that. I like that, again, the color varieties that you can see in both of them. So perfect. Okay, and next.
The next sun-loving one, again, a coreopsis. Most coreopsis people consider them as the yellows, but again, they've been playing with the colors, and this one's called Mercury Rising.
Okay.
So it's a nice bright wine red color with a really bright vivid yellow center, and the backs of the petals are actually a lighter color with a purplish stripe down them. So when they're blowing in the breeze, then you get that contrast as well. So you get a lot of different colors and a lot of different things happening.
And these really kind of fill up the area too, right? They're nice and full.
Yes, they're nice
because of the green leaves as well.
They're very full. They have a finer textured leaf too, so it gives a different texture into your garden. Long blooming time again. They are favored by, again, hummingbirds and the butterflies, so that's kind of nice.
But that is great though, because some people want, okay, how do I get hummingbirds into my garden? Because they're so great to have around. And again, butterflies are so beautiful too, right?
Yeah.
Good, okay. Very nice. Yeah. Okay, and next?
And next, also attracting hummingbirds and butterflies, are penstemon. This is another one that's been around for a while, and it's having a revival with the Riding Hood series. And the Riding Hood series is a nice dwarf compact plant, so it doesn't get all gangly or out of control. Again, can go into a container or can go into the ground directly in the front of a border or towards the middle of a border. And there's Red Riding Hood, Pink Riding Hood, Blue Riding Hood, and Purple Riding Hood.
I would have thought there'd be so many Riding Hoods.
Exactly. So she's got brothers and sisters now, and they're great. The flowers are a nice trumpet-shaped flower on a longer stem.
But again, not too tall, though.
No, not too tall. They're only about 1 foot to 2 feet tall.
Okay.
So they're really controlled, and again, nice and tight. Super long blooming time on this one too. It goes from the middle of the summer right through until towards the end of the summer, early into fall.
Beautiful.
And the colors are so vivid. Like planting them like towards the back of your property, even you can see them from your house.
Oh,
like
wow.
that's
I
great.
love it. That's fantastic. And so again, it's really exciting for people to switch things up, and you know, you being an avid gardener, and you have your perennials that you love that you're going to keep, but you probably do a little switching around each season.
Every year, you know, something doesn't quite make it through the winter, or you just have to always add something new to it, just to freshen it up. And the great thing about perennials is you only have to plant them once, and then they keep coming back year after year, and they multiply year after year, which is nice because then you can share.
And that's what exactly, and I love it. And I love when people will do that. I notice people, you know, even in workspaces, they'll send out emails, okay, I have this and I have this, and people have their little gardening clubs, and they will help share, right?
Yeah, it's a great way. It's a great little community event too. Like, you know, if you live along your street, then everybody can kind of trade something up, and then it's just that whole sharing and involvement with other people too, which is kind of nice.
It's nice, and I love that gardens continue to develop and grow. So it's not, you're not looking at the same one every year.
Exactly.
You are, I mean, regardless of whether you're adding something new or not, but as you say, they do multiply, so it thickens up, and you can see a mature garden. You can recognize it, you know, it just has that nice fullness to it, and everything just starts to kind of work.
And with perennials, even within the season, it changes too, because perennials don't usually bloom throughout the whole entire season.
Right.
Then it's like an evolving garden too. So every time you look out, you can see something different.
And I guess that's probably, you know, when people come in to talk about perennials with you guys, is making sure that you know what's blooming when is key, right? So that your garden has color at all times.
Exactly.
So that's good questions for you guys. All right, so when should people be waiting? What's the timing on planting perennials?
Again, you want to make sure that all the snow is gone and the ground has warmed up. So usually in May, we'll start getting things in a little bit earlier, so then you can keep them in pots. But as soon as you can put them in the ground, then it's usually around beginning of May.
Yeah, that's the thing that doesn't change, right? And people want to jump the gun, but you really have to be careful, right? Because we can still get that little bit of frost going into May, and you could lose everything. And especially when it's something new, it needs that nice little haven to be taken care of. And all right, so this is all these guys are available, and come on to TERRA and ask the questions, and again, add something new. Look for the new ones, and I know you guys have them all set up so people know where to find them.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Really exciting, huh? You probably can't just wait to get your hands all dirty again. Not that you don't do it here, but it's always nice at your home.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Colleen. Good information. We'll be back with more TERRA at Home in just a little bit.
Come and explore the new TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are in our kitchen with Chef Rachel, and we're making a French onion soup.
Yes.
Oh, yum. I love French onion soup. It's like a meal in itself, isn't it? Put with a little salad, maybe for some vegetables, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite soups, and I don't make it as often as I should because I forget, you know, just how simple it is.
Yep.
It is just a little time consuming. It'll take you a couple hours to make, but you'll be happy with the
well, then you're
with the
making
end
it
result.
from scratch too, right? Because we all know there's a shortcut version, right? But this is nice to make it from scratch.
Yeah.
It tastes way better.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure. Okay. So starting off, in my onion soup, I use red onion and leeks. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know you could use red onion. I wouldn't have thought to use red onion in it. Why do you do that? You just
Why?
I like the flavor.
I
It's
like
a
the
different flavor.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you can use any kind of onion you want.
Yeah,
Really,
I would
because it's an
think
onion
so.
soup.
Okay.
Mix them up. Use a couple different ones. I put leek in mine. Not a lot of people do.
I know.
Right? So just a little,
Tricky,
different.
Chef Rachel.
Just a little different. Make it your own, right? But yes, of course, red works just as well. And so I'm going to just heat some oil. We're going to start by, lightly sautéing our red onion. So I always cut my onion in half, peel it. I usually cut out the core, and then if there's any little bits like that, I might just take them out.
Okay.
And basically, we're looking for a thin slice, but not too thin, right? So we'll just go down.
Because we know they cook very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Soften up very quickly.
So about a half an inch or so.
Okay.
But again, there's no rule. So however you like to do it. So I'm just going to do a little bit here to show you how I get this started.
Okay.
But for a big pot of soup, maybe you cut up 3 onions or so, 3 red onions.
I think I have to get someone to do that for me, or I have to wear my sunglasses.
It's
my eyes water. I look
potent.
weird, maybe even cool, but I wear my sunglasses when I cut up onion because I cry so much. It's so true. Do you?
That helps.
You're tough, eh? You don't.
I don't.
Does
But
it make you cry?
sometimes these are a little strong. These ones right now. I'm kind of feeling it. Yeah. But that's okay. Every onion is different. Okay, so we're gonna put these in the pan, and we're going to just lightly saute them. We don't want to brown them by any means, but we'll just get them sauteing. Okay. And these will take a little longer to cook than the leek, so we'll just put those in for maybe 10 minutes or so. Okay. And let me just get my other spoon here to stir them.
I like the idea though. Now, when this all melts down, do you see the color? Do you see the green and the red in the soup, or is it all just kind of becomes just a?
Yeah, a lot of the color comes out of it, so it's not going to stay that bright. So we'll just get those sauteing, and just make sure that they're not browning. Okay. Because what we want to eventually do with them, and this is an important part of the process, is to caramelize the onions. Okay.
Okay.
Which means cooking them at a low temperature for a long time to bring out, the sugars and that'll make them the color that they're going to be. They're going to lose all that color. Okay. Okay. And then for the leeks. So I've talked about leeks many times on the show. These I've already kind of almost cleaned fully and cut. Usually you get them in bunches of 3, and they have big long stalks attached to them that are like a dark green color. Right. You want to cut that off where those dark green stalks start, and discard those.
Yeah,
there's not really much that you can do with those.
No. Okay.
So you want the white part for sure, and a little bit of the green if it's not too dark, and so that's what we're going to use. And then from there I cut them in half, and it's at this point that you want to make sure you get in there and clean them, because they can be quite dirty.
Yeah, it's amazing how that all hides inside there, right?
Yeah.
You really have to.
So you really have to clean them. But once they're clean, you can, again, do it however you'd like. Slice them fairly thinly. You can slice them into rings like that, or what I have done is just slice them lengthwise. So just fairly thin.
Oh,
okay.
That way.
So that's how I did it. Oh. And then if you think they're too long, you can cut them in half. But just a thin slice, similar to the red onion, okay? And then, after about 5 or 10 minutes, when the red onion has been in there, you can add in your leeks. Okay. So we'll just keep stirring this. You want to make sure that the red onion's getting soft. I'll add in the leeks.
I like the idea of having leeks in there. That's a nice flavor.
Add something different. Okay, so that's just a little pot just to show you how I start this process. And you want to leave those onions for about 45 minutes or so. Again, keep it on low heat. You can sprinkle a little bit of sugar in with them.
Sugar.
Okay,
So
and that's going to help the caramelization process. Okay, so about a half a teaspoon or so.
All right.
Mix them up again. And then, like I said, they can just sit on the low heat. I stir them every once in a while for about 45 minutes until they're nice and caramelized, nice and soft. You'll see that the color has really come out of them. And we just switch these over. This here.
We've moved time forward, and that's what it looks like. So they're all softened up. And
very soft. Like I said, the color is very light now. Yep. And that's after about 45 minutes. So that's kind of what you're looking for.
All right, so that's your base, and at this point, all you've added, all it's been is just a little bit of oil and some sugar. So there's nothing else. So now there's all, you can add some herbs, right?
Now we're going to add the good stuff. So at this point, I add some white wine. Okay. About a half a cup or so.
Of course, that makes it taste really fantastic. Okay.
And so mix that, let that cook for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then we can add the beef stock.
Okay.
Okay. Beef stock is what you want to use because it's got such a big flavor, and that's what you need for this soup, just because that's the basis of it, right? Basically just the stock and the onions.
All right.
So we can add in the stock. This is about 8 cups. And then fresh herbs.
Okay, and your herbs of choice today are?
Right, I'm using thyme.
Okay.
Thyme today. I'm gonna throw some dried bay leaves in there as well. So bay leaves, you can throw a little bit of garlic in too if you want.
Okay. Are you putting in whole cloves or are you chopping them up finely?
I would chop them up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You could put whole cloves if you want.
Sure.
We could just, you could give them a little bit of a
Okay, so now once you've
smush.
added the garlic and you've added the thyme, then at this stage, again, what are you doing?
We're just gonna let it simmer.
Okay.
So we want it on like a medium-low heat, another 45 minutes or so. All the flavors will come together.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll take a quick break, we'll come back and we'll put this all together. Can't wait to try.
Told you Mom was coming this weekend, right?
No, you left that part out. Her first visit this weekend? Look around, we're not ready for that.
Where are you going?
To TERRA, where do you think?
This is amazing. You're amazing.
Well, we had a little help.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home, and we are finishing up our onion soup with Chef Rachel. So we've got the soup all done now. The onions are soft and the broth is good.
Yeah, it's been cooking, you know, with that garlic that you added and the thyme. Bay leaves, you want to take the bay leaves out, of course, and if you put the garlic in whole, take that out as well. Okay. But it's ready to go in the bowl. So these are my little bowl. I do have traditional, you know, the onion soup bowl with the little handle, but I like these ones. They're cute. So ladle some into each bowl, and then we have a nice,
part, right?
we have a nice crusty baguette that I've cut into pieces, and so it just depends. It just depends on the size of the bowl that you're using, but you want to cut a couple pieces of bread that'll just fit nicely on top, cover the whole thing.
It's amazing how they don't look like they're too big, right? They're just like a nice size, but it's amazing how filling the soup can be, right? Especially with the cheese. And I noticed you just seem to have like a nice amount of cheese. Sometimes you can get like an inch or two of cheese in your soup, which is good. I'm not going to send that back. Okay, so so you've cut some baguette up, and again, I mean, you're using a white baguette right now, but you could actually use a multigrain baguette, and it would still taste really good. So if you wanted to
keep it a little healthier.
Yeah.
And then top it with cheese. So I'm using Gruyere cheese right now.
Yeah,
I think it's a nice.
It has a nice flavor.
It does. It does. It's a little sharp. It's one of the more sharp.
I just want to mention our website again, terragreenhouses.com, if you want to find this recipe online, something kind of still warm and cozy to make. You know, April, we still have our spring showers, and something really just nice, and again, paired up with a salad, it's a great meal. That's the final product.
Yeah, so put it under the broiler for a couple minutes, and it gets all nice and golden brown and crispy, and the cheese melts.
You're good to go.
It's all ready.
All right, good recipe. Thank you. And your kitchen will smell like yum yum all for a whole day. That's it for now. We'll see you next weekend.